You go get a damn job.
Yeah.
Hi my loves, long time no see. I didn't post all 2022 but I've definitely been watching BLs. Last year, I couldn't make any type of ranking since I barely watched anything, but this time around, I was lucky to have some more time to myself and got back into watching series again. I surprised myself compiling this list. I can't believe I've seen this much. Of course, I wasn't able to check out every single one. So many BLs were released this year for me to fully keep up. I watched what I could. If you don't see a series here, it's because I haven't seen it, or I forgot to add it in, but I double and triple checked. I'm pretty sure I got all the ones I've watched in here. Just to give you a heads up, there were multiple shows I watched this year that I did not like. So if you do not want to listen to someone complain about a series that you really love, you do not have to watch this. You are welcome to make your own tier ranking. That out of the way, let's get into my tiers. I used to not like really detailed tier names and extensive amounts of tiers. I felt like it sometimes got confusing. I always preferred a simple god tier, great good bad type of list, but now that I am making one myself, I thought that was a little too boring. In an attempt to make it as easy to understand as possible, I put a more simplified tier name in parenthesis. New all-time favorites. These are my shows. I would sell my soul to watch them again for the first time. Cell phones on silent. Shut your fucking mouths. The show is about to begin. This is for series I really enjoyed. Ones I think are great, just not my number one faves. Clichés are cliché for a reason. These are good. Nothing spectacular, but I had fun with it. My favorite thing about this show is that it feels like a show. Mid-tier shows that were just okay. I probably wouldn't watch them again, but I would still recommend them. Maybe with a different script. A lot of these started off promising, and then lost me as it went on. The cast or concept had potential, but it was poorly executed. Why would you make this show? I think this is pretty self-explanatory. Why would you make this show? The concept is weird. The story was bad, etc. Did not finish. I don't understand the hype. I didn't want to make two separate tiers for these. I either didn't finish the series, or I don't understand why people are so in love with it, because it didn't do anything for me. Those are the 7 tiers. Here are all the BLs. Let's get into ranking all of these. First up we have Enchanté. I unfortunately did not enjoy Enchanté the way I wanted to. When I first saw the pilot trailer, I thought the concept was so interesting, and when I started watching the series, I actually really liked it, but the writing lost me at some point. I was actually spoiled about Theo being Enchanté in the comment section on one of the episodes, but I still was anticipating the reveal because 1, I didn't fully believe that, and 2, if it were true, I wanted to see how they would pull that off. Of course, that was in fact what happened, and I didn't like it. Theo annoyed me so much, especially from when we know he's Enchanté till the end. And because Theo being Enchanté bothers me, the series lost its rewatch value. I would just be even more annoyed with Theo watching it from the beginning, knowing what he's up to. But I have to say I adore the cast of this series. All of them together. Their chemistry is so good. I genuinely think Enchanté is top 3 best casts of the year. Which just makes me dislike Enchanté even more. You had the most perfect cast and just did nothing with it. It's so disappointing. I dropped this like 3 episodes in. I was just so bored and couldn't get into it. I've seen so many people enjoying Why. Let me know if I should give it another shot. Love Mechanics. Love Mechanics was made for this tier. It's cliché but it's good. I love Yin War. I will watch anything if they're in it. I'm so glad they made V-Mark's story into a full series. It's messy but so entertaining. Next up is Even Sun. I had no idea what was going on the entire time I was watching it. The writing was so bad. There were way too many characters for a 6-episode series. All of the characters and their storylines were underdeveloped. Nothing made sense. I was so confused and bored. At some point I gave up trying to follow along. I didn't care enough about any of these characters to want to know what was happening. Senpai, this can't be love. I didn't love this either, but it's okay I guess. Honestly, it's pretty unmemorable. If you asked me to explain the plot to you, I don't think I could do a good job. I don't remember hating it, but I also don't remember loving it. It's just something to watch to pass the time. Semantic Error, the first one I'm putting in all-time favorites. We've all seen it, we all love it. I've rewatched Semantic Error so many times this year. Every time I need to unmiserable myself, this is what I put on. The actors are so amazing. The story is fun. Semantic error is perfect. You're my sky. Cell phones on silent. This was great. Sen and I mean everything to me. They're probably my favorite side couple of the year now that I think about it. Are they even considered a side couple? I guess technically yeah, but You're My Sky did such a good job giving everyone proper screen time. It didn't even feel like a main couple with two side couples. The series had very well developed characters and storylines. You're My Sky is so underrated. We were doing so well there for a second talking about some good shows. First Love Again is another one I don't remember much, but I remember not liking it. The reincarnation concept is cool, but it wasn't done well. Very underwhelming. Not Me is my number one show of the year. Nothing made me feel like Not Me did. I love it so much. No episode of any show ever compares to episode 7 of Not Me. The pride flag scene made me feel a level of joy and comfort that I have never felt from a piece of media. The series has its flaws sure, but it is so special to me. I think I overwatched it to the point I burned myself out though. I mean, I was watching every single reaction and had the whole series on loop for months until I found my next obsession. So I've been thinking about Not Me less and less these days. But whenever I see anything related to it, it all comes back to me. An amazing, fantastic show. Also the soundtrack. I didn't mention music for any of these shows so far. For the most part none of the soundtracks impacted me, but this one, oh my god. They found the most perfect songs to put in this show. My Spotify Wrapped this year was full of all the songs on my Not Me OST playlist. The music in this show was too good. Thank you Pinucci. Let's do Kissable Lips and Roommates of Poongduck 304 at the same time. Jiyoung and Sobin have this ability to make me like everything they're in, because I do not care for the plot of both of their shows, but somehow I still had a fun time watching them. They have great chemistry, they work off each other so well. It's fun to watch Jiyoung and Sobin in a scene together. Their chemistry carried both shows. Since I think Jiyoung and Sobin have so much potential, I'm putting Kissable Lips in maybe with a different script. Roomates could go in there too, but since I liked it more than Kissable Lips, I'm putting it in OK tier. Mr. Unlucky has no choice but to kiss. Cell phones on silent. It's adorable and funny and such an easy watch. So rewatchable. Anytime I need a serotonin boost Mr. Unlucky would be perfect. Takara-kun and Amagi-kun. My favorite losers. They are so awkward in a good way. This series is nothing special but it's adorable. Another easy watch. Vice versa. New all-time favorite no question. I watch anything else now and I'm just like, but you're not Poontale, you're not Friend Credits, you're not Fuse and Kita, nothing compares to them. It's also so pleasant to look at. I've never seen a GMMTV show this visually stunning. I don't care if they needed to sneak in 10 ads per episode to achieve that. That's fine with me if that means the show is going to look this good. No but seriously, the ads is one of the biggest complaints I see about Vice Versa. I did not have a problem with that at all. It never bothered me, not even once. Nothing really bothered me about Vice Versa to be honest. I was just having the time of my life watching it. It made me so happy every Saturday. I miss it. Every episode being dedicated to a certain color was incredible. It gave me so much to appreciate in each one. Vice Versa is just so magical and romantic. Poon and Tale are in love. I could talk about Vice Versa for hours. Not everyone understands the genius of Vice Versa, but I get it. I understand it and I hope you do too. Blueming. Another phenomenal show. It tackles so much and it handles everything so well and so gracefully. This series feels like a warm hug. It's so real and vulnerable. Blueming is truly so beautiful. Check out. You're the first one and why would you make this show? Because what the fuck was that? A complete waste of my time. I don't remember anything that happened. I had it on 2 times speed and I still had to fast forward. I couldn't stand sitting through it. Genuinely one of the most boring, nonsensical things I have ever watched. My Secret Love. If My Secret Love was just about the side couples it would be up in the top tiers. They were great. Amazing actually. Especially Park and Lee. I really adored them. But the main couple Loki ruined the show. I was so bored every time Kim and Mek were on screen. Their chemistry was nowhere near the level of the side couples. So, My Secret Love goes in maybe with a different script. Because if it was just about Park Lee and Bombear, it could have been a 10 out of 10 series. But unfortunately, they wasted so much time on Kim Mek. Next is Once Again. I liked this at first. The plot was super interesting. I was very curious to see how they would handle it. I didn't love the ending, but I honestly don't know what they could have done with it. The plot is just so out there. I don't know how to feel about it. so I'm just gonna put once again in, maybe with a different script. I think the plot could have been better thought out, made more sense and had a cooler ending if the right person got their hands on it. The Miracle of Teddy Bear. This is the only series I've seen that does an odd reincarnation concept well. It's sad, but I guess I enjoy making myself miserable, because I really liked this. The Miracle of Teddy Bear and the Eclipse novels have the same author, and I personally think MOTB is the better of the two. It is similar to the Eclipse in that it has really important conversations in it, but in my opinion, this one does it better. This show unexpectedly stole my heart. A surprise gem of the year. Oh Boarding House. I watched this so long ago, I don't remember a single thing, but I remember hating it and I'm not gonna watch it again to see what was up, just gonna trust my past self on this one. KinPorsche. Every day that passes I dislike it more. I anticipated that this series wouldn't be my thing when that first trailer came out, but in the long wait for KinPorsche to air, I grew to anticipate it more. I started to see what everyone else saw in it and I was like, okay, this could be something good. I actually really liked the first episode, but it just kept going downhill after that. It is such a poorly written show. It was so inconsistent. Every episode felt like a compilation of scenes. It was so jarring, sometimes switching from one scene to another because there was no transitions whatsoever. There were also way too many characters. There was not enough depth given to most of them to even warrant their existence. You could remove so many of them and it would have little to no effect on the story. I don't have the time to get into the incest adjacent shit thrown in there at the end, and all the other aspects of the show that made me hate it. I understand mafia concept is inherently problematic, but I don't like the way this series handled it. I personally think KinPorsche is entirely overhyped and I will never understand why it's so popular. About Youth. I've been loving series with this kind of vibe. My school president is the joy of my life right now, and it reminds me of how I felt with About Youth. They are some of the best teen romance shows ever. I wish the side couple had more screen time, or their own series or something, because they are so great. About Youth is just lovely. Ghost House. I didn't finish this. I don't know why, because I thought it was fine. I kinda just forgot it existed, to be honest. I probably will go back and finish it cause, as I said, it's not like I hated it or anything. Star in My Mind. At first, I really enjoyed Star in My Mind. Sure, it was cliché and cheesy, but I was having the time of my life. However, at some point it started going downhill. I started to get less and less excited every Friday for new episodes. Clune's inability to communicate was so infuriating. Typhoon pissed me off as well. They are both some of the most annoying characters I've ever seen. Sean, Mighty, Nay, and Gia are my favorite characters. Clune's mum as well, actually, she was great. The thing that ultimately ruined the series for me was what they did to Gia. How the hell do you introduce a domestic violence plotline and somehow make it all about Clune and Dal? You have to be joking. How did this get greenlit? I was so angry after seeing that. I was already starting to like it less and less, but that just did it for me. The writing for this show was so bad. The Eclipse. I'm so sorry, but I did not love this. Everyone I know loves The Eclipse. I understand why people would enjoy it so much. I just didn't. I have similar problems with The Eclipse that I did with Enchanté. If this series did not have first Kao and Neo Louis portraying these characters, I probably wouldn't have finished it. The chemistry between the characters was the main thing really keeping me in it. The storyline was not giving me what I wanted. There were a handful of good conversations and topics the series addressed. I loved the cafe of diversity. I loved that it doesn't shy away from talking about important topics like mental illness, homophobia, etc. But there was something missing. The later half of the series was where it really started to lose me. The writing was so good at some points and then horrible at others. The concept of the series had so much room for amazing plot lines and story arcs, but it just didn't go all the way with it. I still liked it. I would recommend it. Of the shows in this tier, I probably liked The Eclipse the most. I even liked it more than the series in the OK tier. But since the writing in some parts bothered me more than those shows, it's here. This was my most anticipated series of the year based on the pilot trailer, and it kinda let me down. Secret Crush on You. If the show focused on Daisy in Touch and Fon Kong Kwan, it would be new all-time favorite. They were so incredible. But unfortunately, the bulk of screen time was spent on To Nur, and I cannot get behind them. Sorry. To is a mess and Nur is a bigger mess, so fine. They're perfect for each other, but they are not for me. If only it was Daisy in Touch the series, it would have been a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. Dear Doctor, I'm coming for Soul. This is another one that I watched almost entirely on 2x speed. I just wanted to see how it was gonna end. And I didn't like it. I think Studio Wabi-Sabi projects are just not my thing anymore. I loved their shows years ago, but I don't know, something changed. I don't care for anything they release these days. Sky in Your Heart. To my surprise, I liked Sky in Your Heart more than Star in My Mind. I went into the Star and Sky series fully expecting Dao's story to be my favorite. I did not care about Far's half of the story at all. I only started watching it because I felt like I had to. I already invested time into one. I might as well tune into the other. I was so shocked that I enjoyed this more. Far and Prince are cute. Overall, Star and Sky is nothing incredible. They are pretty mid shows, but I definitely enjoyed Far Prince more. Plus and minus. This was cute. Friends to lovers and raiders covering romance tropes are always sweet to me. It was great for what it was. Big Dragon. I watched the first episode and just didn't vibe with it. I didn't like it enough to continue on. Old Fashioned Cupcake. I cannot believe this was only 5 episodes. It left such an impact on me. When I look back on it, it feels like a longer series. I really loved this. One of the most realistic love stories I've ever seen. I feel like this show genuinely changed my outlook on life. Old Fashioned Cupcake is gorgeous. Go watch it. Cupid's Last Wish. Stop making body switch. Even though I have vice versa in the top tier. That's different. It's different, leave me alone. I will give it to Cupid's Last Wish. It's a better body switch series. They do it well for what it is. And Jan and Mix were acting their asses off. They were so impressive. But the storyline itself wasn't that great. It didn't get me hooked. I was watching it just because it's Earth Mix. The show isn't horrible, but Earth Mix can do so much better. Because Earth Mix has all the potential in the world. Cupid's Last Wish is and maybe with a different script. Cutie Pie. Another super popular series that I didn't understand. The only interesting thing in Cutie Pie was Noor and Sin. They were the only reason I was watching it. I could put it in had potential. Because it's similar to Sky and My Secret Love for me, since I loved one of the side couples. But I don't think it's fair to put Cutie Pie next to those shows. I disliked it too much for that. Other than Noor Sin, new songs, and Kuadiawa's friendship, there was nothing I liked about Cutie Pie. Eternal Yesterday. I loved this. This is going in cell phones on silent. It is rare for a BL to make me feel something from the dialogue alone. A lot of these series get by on chemistry and fan service. Koichi and Mi-chan have overflowing chemistry, don't get me wrong. But Eternal Yesterday has some of the most beautiful lines I've ever heard. The writing in this series is so good. If you can handle sad endings, I recommend this. It's very excellent. Cherry Blossoms After Winter. Very cute. Their chemistry was insane. I really liked it. Minato's Laundromat. Jail. Because who thought it was a good idea to write a story about a high schooler and an almost 30-year-old? The age gap. That age gap is so scary, guys. I wouldn't ever recommend this to anyone. I could not live with myself if I told someone to check out a series about a child and a grown-ass man falling in love. Next. To My Star 2. First season was so good. I did not expect anything less for season 2. Of course it was great. It's Sejun and Ji-woo. It was so angsty, but it was worth it for the ending. Love in the Air. Another super popular series that was not for me. I didn't like it. The only character I liked was Sky, and his storyline was not dealt with the proper care it needed. The writing was weird, the editing was bad. I don't want to support anything MAME does anymore. I've had enough. Choco Milkshake. I'm embarrassed to admit I kinda liked this. You should have seen the shock on my face when I realized what was going on. I went into Choco Milkshake not knowing anything. It was surprisingly watchable considering what it was. However, Choco and Milk being a dog and a cat is just too weird. I can't put it in anything other than why would you make this show? Because why would you even think of this as a concept? My Tooth Your Love. This show is very incredible. I had so much fun watching every episode. It just got better and better. I haven't seen chemistry like this in a minute. Another amazing Taiwanese BL. Happy ending romance. Not bad but not good. It's just fine. Looking at this now editing, it probably should be in maybe with a different script. Because the concept is interesting, but it wasn't well executed. It was trying so hard to be mysterious and vague that it got annoying. The editing and writing was confusing at parts. Oh My Assistant. Another mid-series. It's okay. Nothing special. It's something to watch when you have nothing better to do. Okay, that's all. None of this really matters. It's entirely subjective. I just wanted to document my thoughts on all the BLs I watched in the year I didn't upload. I love and miss you all so much. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye my loves.